Test, test. Hi everyone. Before we dive into the heart of the matter, I would like to confront a concerning trend of my topic of happiness, its decline. So recent studies have shown a substantial decrease in the self-reported happiness of Generation Z. The recorded introspection of happiness levels of Gen Z versus millennials 5 years ago, when they were all around the ages of 18 to 25, show a huge difference in self-reported happiness. In 2017, 50% of young adults reported that they felt happy. However, 5 years later, in 2022, young adults now report that they are far less happy than their older counterparts were at their age, with only 37% reporting that they felt happy. Martin Seligman, who is a pioneer in positive psychology and also a world-renowned psychologist, held the view that happiness is important not just towards individual well-being, but societal progress. His PERMA model highlights the fact that happiness affects various aspects of our lives, including our ability to contribute positively to society. But oftentimes when mentioning this topic of happiness, people view it as an unimportant and an individual goal. They think that prioritizing one's happiness over other issues is selfish. I know many of you in this room are probably thinking that exact same thing. And honestly, for much of my life, so did I. I thought that happiness, and especially the pursuit of happiness, was all about oneself. I want to be happy for me. However, since delving into this topic, my thinking has changed completely. I now believe that whether you are happy or not, or whether you act happy or not, is all about altruism, not selfishness. So today I want to talk about why this decline in happiness is even important, as well as explaining the title of my topic, that happiness can be a tool for sustainability. But before we move on, I would like to invite all of you to do this little activity with me. So if you will, please close your eyes and imagine this. Imagine a place so environmentally stable, teeming with life in every nook and cranny. Imagine lush greenery, trees standing tall and proud, their leaves whispering secrets to the wind. Imagine vibrant magnolias and orchids, mountains reaching high up to the sky, crystal clear rivers and lakes mirroring the clouds, a haven of biodiversity. But that's not all. Imagine laughter, smiles, and joy radiating from every face. Now open your eyes. Is this picture behind me something like what you're imagining in your head? Well, this is what I was describing, and this picture is known as Bhutan. Bhutan is a landlocked country in between two powerful nations, China and India. And what's amazing about Bhutan is that the people and the government have revived and maintained the environment so much so that it's not only carbon neutral, which means that the country as a whole doesn't emit carbon dioxide into the atmosphere due to the equal amounts that it creates and absorbs. So it's not only carbon neutral, it's carbon negative, which means that their forest ability to sequester CO2 outweighs its ability to produce it. And this term is referred to as a carbon sink. And for reference, there's only 3 carbon sinks in this whole world, in 3 countries out of 195. And Bhutan was the first one. It was a trailblazer in this incredible feat. But how did Bhutan become the first ever carbon negative country? For Bhutan, happiness is the answer. In Bhutan, happiness isn't just a fleeting feeling. It's a guiding principle towards national development. The GNH, or gross national happiness, is Bhutan's unique alternative to the GDP, or gross domestic product. And this GNH is intricately linked with Bhutan's environmental success. But it does sound weird to say that Bhutan's environmental sustainability is directly linked to its happiness, because it doesn't. But to understand why it can help and why it did help with this, we have to understand the science of happiness. So research in positive psychology tells us that happiness is directly correlated to increased empathy and altruism. Happiness is linked to increased empathy and pro-social behaviors, meaning that happier individuals are more likely to have concern for the well-being of others. And this includes the environment because the environment affects everyone around us. And this heightened sense of empathy can also translate into more concern for the environment as well as a desire to protect it for future generations. Another point is that an Oxford study shows that happiness directly increases productivity by 13%. So by understanding this fact, we understand that an alternative goal of happiness worldwide is the increased productivity of people. And with these two factors in mind, consider the ripple effect of happiness. When we prioritize our personal happiness, we inadvertently contribute to the greater good. Happiness is not a selfish act. It's an investment in building stronger, more connected communities. So what can we do to ensure that happiness can be used as a driving force for positive change? The answer is closer to what you might think. It starts with each and every one of us in this room. We have the power to cultivate our own happiness, spread joy in our immediate circles, and embrace gratitude. Imagine if each one of us chose to do just one act of kindness each day to have an impact on someone else's life. These small cumulative effects of happiness, of these small acts of kindness, could be monumental. But our journey doesn't stop here. I would like to invite you to imagine a world where happiness is a shared goal and not a personal pursuit. A world where happiness becomes a transformative force, saving the world with one smile, one act of kindness, and one positive ripple at a time. Thank you.